So very, very good morning to each one and namaste. We have been discussing how to set healthy boundaries. We discussed there are healthy boundaries, there are unhealthy boundaries. There are times we are completely unaware how to draw boundaries. So any unhealthy boundaries, it is not that people don't draw boundaries, but many times they draw very unhealthy boundaries as well. And one of the things how you know whether it is a healthy boundary or an unhealthy boundary is simply to ask ourselves question, is my relationship need-based or a greed-based? If there is too much of dependency, if there is constant need of the other person, and without that person, you cannot remain, then it becomes very, very unhealthy. Because then it is like latching on to somebody's energy field. And when we latch on to somebody's energy field, doesn't matter how much ever close that relationship is. Can be your spouse, can be your children, can be your parents. Either you are making them dependent, they are dependent, you are dependent on them. So whenever anything which crosses a limit, boundary is what? A wall. So if there is a boundary between two countries, the minute I cross that, or between two buildings, there is a wall being built that this is our space, this is your space. When it comes to energy, we cannot draw a wall. And there are times the wall is there, but we cannot see it because it is an energy wall. And in that energy wall, like probably what I have defined, other person cannot. When do I give them a door or an access to get into my space? Majority times, what we consider as compassion, kindness, and anything in limit is fine. So majority time, it becomes our empathy. And that empathy, sympathy, makes us vulnerable and opens up the door. Friends, realize I'm not saying that stop being empathetic, like kindness is a virtue, being compassionate is a virtue. One must operate out of empathy. But probably within ourselves, when does that empathy become sympathy? When is our thought that I am a doer? If somebody says, please, please help me out, and if consciously we do not have the awareness that ultimately it is the divine who is the doer, but I am the doer, let me do that because it's in my capacity. Let me do that, it is in my capacity. Let me do that. And probably the empathy becomes sympathy. And the minute we cross our own boundaries with the divine, knowing that divine knows it, we cross our boundaries thinking that we are superior than somebody else. And they do not have the power which I have the power to help them out. The minute we cross that boundaries, that energy wall that was there, that energy wall with our thought, with our intent, either completely breaks or there are many, many doors that we create. There are times it is not direct. For example, you might be able to draw a boundary with your child, knowing that, okay, my children have grown up and my children may not require, they're self-sufficient. But when it comes to your grandchildren, your children's children, you know that there is an extra soft corner for your grandchild. And there is a bridge or there is a way through which we pass through someone. And again, grandchild and child's energies are connected. So energy is something, how it unfolds and it plays role. Many times we don't realize it. And again, we become vulnerable and we break the boundaries. So it is utmost important to have constant awareness of it. Without that, many times these boundaries are violated. Once broken, once a wall is broken, it is broken, then energy is going to pass. And then you are not even aware what is coming from where. Again, that you require to take effort. Now, a half-broken wall, is it always possible to rebuild it from the state it is? If a glass, if you break that glass, will you be able to join it again exactly from where it has broken? Probably some of them are pieces, some of them are completely powder format. Same thing in the wall also. What a person does is they require to demolish the existing structure and rebuild a new wall. In relationship, that is very, very painful. Because that half wall is indicative of your existing rule book, spoken or unspoken. But it is already not good enough because probably we didn't have awareness from the beginning how to set boundaries and how to create a healthy, strong wall. Now, because of X, Y, Z, any reasons, it is half broken. I need to have the heart to demolish it. In the medical terminology, inability to set boundaries leads to many mental conditions. Out of 10, the medical science says that out of 10 people in the world, everyone is having the traits of being a narcissist. And how do you understand that somebody has, like either they are the psychopath, they are sociopath, the narcissism. The narcissism, the food for them is empathetic people. So there is a lot of manipulation in the behavior. The behavior pattern, how they speak, how they communicate, to an empath, it makes them believe that whatever they are saying is so correct and I must reach out to this person. I must reach out to this person. But because of a very unhealthy childhood experiences, majority people become narcissists because of a very traumatic childhood. Remember, nobody is born negative or positive. It is a situation, how they're perceived makes them behave in a particular way. The narcissist do not have any empathy. So they represent very different behaviors, different times. When you go to a mental condition doctor, to a psychiatrist, or when you ask them, they may say that the person may have the multiple personality disorder. They may say they are schizophrenic. They may say that is a narcissist. There are many different conditions which develops. The solution and the answer for many of them, because it not only is painful, For the victim in this situation is always the empath, the person who has a lot of empathy, because they get entangled in such a bad condition that they do not know now how to come out of that, especially if that person is their partner, one of their child, one of their parent, a very close relationship. Anything at a workplace, you are still, it is safer, you can live it and you can walk out. If you are associated in that, in a very close relationship, then it is difficult. And then it comes back to breaking the entire wall and recreating without the fear of losing out on that relationship. So today what we will do is we will cleanse and work on that aspect of our life which is at most important, empathy. Without empathy, we are inhuman, we are not human. Without empathy, our souls cannot grow, because it is that empathy, kindness, willingness to understand someone, the love, pure love for someone, which is makes you human and allows your higher consciousness to operate. But unknowingly, where the empathy has become sympathy, we create the receptors to attract such relationships, and our inability to be able to break that vicious circle in which we get unknowingly trapped is very important. And again, remember, it is always the body of pure love which can break that, not the body of judgment. By us judging another person for being in a particular way, labeling them, does not give solution. What gives solution is we working on ourselves, clearing our own subconscious patterns, clearing where are our hooks, where are we still vulnerable, why are we attracting, what is the learning which is not being unfolded. Break that pattern, liberating ourselves and the other person also from that karmic cycle. Is everybody ready for that? Each one may or may not believe, but everybody somewhere in their life gets hooked to minimum one such relationship where we feel very helpless, very clueless, where we do not realize how to break it, what to do about it. Our fears, our doubts, our positivity or our negativity doesn't allow us to break that vicious circle. So let us start clearing that. Yeah. We'll start with the B technique. And you can repeat it in your mind what I am saying. Although the divine always taught me and made me believe in unconditional love. The Jesus always said, love people for who they are, what they are, without judging them. And whether I believed in Christianity, Hinduism, Jainism, Islam, all the ascended masters taught us only one thing: how to love somebody unconditionally. Because it has the power to shift realities, it has the power to shift frequencies. But in my human journey as a soul, I am still progressing from where I am, to reach to the place to invoke the Buddha within me, to invoke the Mahavira within me, to have the compassion like Jesus. And the duality within me doesn't either allow me to have that pure love energy within me because I still have my own fears, my own doubts, and the most precious qualities of empathy, compassion, love, light, care that I chose to develop as I continued on my journey on this path of going through the different human experiences, knowingly or unknowingly. Probably I lost the trust in the humanity, in their loyalty, in their genuineness. Probably I lost faith in my own divinity, in my own belief that the God is within me and I can also be that energy of Buddha. I somewhere invoked, developed a lot of duality within myself. And the minute there is a duality, there is a dual existence. A part of us which is very, very compassionate and very, very good. A part of us which becomes vulnerable by people's judgments on us, people's labels on us, what we considered or perceived as rejection, humiliation, and we become vulnerable to the dark energies as anger, hatred, rage, jealousy, coveting, grudges, prejudices. Not only creating a karmic loop between me and the other person or other people, but at the same time, unknowingly start creating the pattern of where we feel being the victim, helpless, hopeless, do not know how to break the wall, do not know how to reconstruct a healthy boundary, do not know how to come out of the cycle in which we are trapped into. In spite of that, my spiritual self, my divine self, knows how to take care of my physical, my mental, my emotional self, the different roles in the relationship that I played. My spiritual self knows how to dissolve and create a new boundary. Probably I surrender all the different selves of mine to my spiritual self, to my higher self, to the energy of the creator of all that is now. And I choose to deeply and completely love and accept all the other selves of mine who feels being a victim and heal and integrate all the other selves of mine into my higher self today, into the spiritual self, the divine self of mine right now, allowing the divine self of mine to take care of all the other lower selves of mine now. Although I do not know where exactly at my physical level of existence, at my cellular level, I have created the receptors. The receptors, probably based on my ego, that I am the doer. Someone else needs me. I'm the only one who can help them out. I'm the only one who can save them. I'm the only one who knows how to do that. I'm being cruel by not helping humanity, by not helping people, and forgetting that I am simply a facilitator. It's always the divine, which is the healer, and knowingly, unknowingly cross the boundaries, and violation of any boundary I may have done in my past, might be doing in my present, through my words, through my actions, through my behavior, may have been carrying it forward from the past lives that I may have lived. In my present reality, in my past, present, and future bodies, in the parallel universe realities, probably what is unfolding is impacting my present lives and present relationships. The future realities in my imagination and my behavior, my perceptions that might be creating the current situation, and that might not be allowing me to set healthy boundaries, respect and honor. My own boundaries that I set to respect and honor other people's boundaries, and to be able to have the clarity and the understanding of how to put it into action, how to draw boundaries, how actually to execute setting boundaries, and to let it come very naturally to me without being stubborn, without violating my own boundaries within myself, without harming myself. I still choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself and heal and integrate that part of me. Both the hands on your chest. Take few deep breaths, breathing in through the nostril, all the positive energy. Breathe out through the mouth. Any known or unknown receptors that you may have created in the body, to let them go. Breathe in the fresh and the new energy of the divine now. And now I want each one to tap their thymus point and say, change, changing, it is changed. Change, changing, it is changed. From my inability to set healthy boundaries to my ability to be able to set healthy boundaries. Change, changing, it is changed. From unhealthy boundaries that I may have set to setting the healthy boundaries in every aspect of my life. Change, changing, it is changed. Change, changing, it is changed. From any receptors that I may have created and operating out of ego, to letting go of the receptors of any sort which violates any boundaries, and to let go of the ego and to invoke the divine within me and to surrender to the divinity within and outside. Change, changing, it is changed. Change, changing, it is changed. From the body of judgment to the body of surrender. From feeling being victim or being a victimizer to liberate from any such feeling and creating the receptors to attract the divine from others and the divine behaviors from others. Change, changing, it is changed. Change, changing, it is changed. From feeling helpless to taking charge, from feeling hopeless to connect to the flow of the universe, from any imbalance in my own alignment to bring back the alignment in my own energy body. Change, changing, it is changed. Both the hands on the chest, 7 deep breath. Breathe in through the nostril all the positivity, breathe out through the mouth all that is blocking you. Keep your eyes shut. And as your eyes are closed, would you like to know what it feels like to allow the energy body of yours, the body of wisdom, the body of intellect, the body of higher consciousness of yours, to be connected and to be one and to align your polarities now, and that it is completely possible. You all can go on saying yes. Whoever says yes, I will go on visualizing it happening for them. Creator of all that is, whatever commands I may pass, and whoever says yes, all the commands will be done and downloaded for each one at the level of their readiness and for each one's highest and best, for the highest and best possible way for them. And each command will be instilled into every cell, fiber, tissue, molecule of their body, every area of their life, at all the four level of their beliefs for each one's highest and best now. So as I continue doing the downloads, like you go on saying yes, whichever you want to be instilled into you. Would you like to know what it feels like to allow yourself to release the receptors of feeling helpless and hopeless in a situation, and allowing yourself in that space to replace the receptors of attracting hope, faith, loyalty, and attracting and being able to see the divine in others and thus attracting the divinity from others, and that it is possible. Would you like to know what it feels like to realize and understand your own inner boundaries through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of Creator of all that is. You know how to do that. It is safe, it is possible, and you allow yourself to establish very healthy inner boundaries within yourself. Would you like to know what it feels like to have the boundaries within your own consciousness, between your intuition and intellect, without them fighting, without your heart and brain fighting? You allow the synchronicity between them, the balance between the two, and to be able to draw healthy boundaries there. Would you like to know what it feels like to draw the healthy boundaries between you and the divine, yet being one with the divine and experiencing the oneness, believing in the oneness, yet knowing when to stop yourself and allowing the divine to operate through you, and that it is completely possible. Would you like to know what it feels like to draw boundaries in relationships, in every aspect of your life, in every areas of your life, and that it is possible? Would you like to know what it feels like to allow the pure love, empathy, kindness, compassion to be the virtue that through which you operate without being vulnerable with any of these qualities, allowing you to understand these virtues through Creator's definition and perspective of the seventh plane of Creator of all that is? Would you like to know what it feels like to know that love is the key, balance is the key, and surrender is the way to live your life and to understand how to unfold that, being completely connected to your higher self? And know that it is possible. You know how to do that with ease and grace. When to do that, moving beyond the clutter that you may have created, moving beyond your own mental clutter and chatter, and that it is possible. It is safe for you to live and create a very peaceful life, peaceful, beautiful, happy relationships. It is safe for you to be healthy, to be fit, to be fine. It is possible and you're deserving of it. Choose to live your daily life with the same, and that you are a person with complete energies being aligned, operating with balance, operating with healthy boundaries within and outside, into every cell, fiber, tissue, molecule of your body, every area of your life, at all the full level of your beliefs, for your highest and best, and the highest and best possible way for each one. Whoever wishes, continue saying yes and thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Thank you. Passing unconditional love, light, and healing to each one. You all can open your eyes. So thank you everyone for joining. One more time, I'm repeating, boundary is something which has many, many layers. It is always advisable to listen to them many, many times, whether it is the downloads or the releases that we did. And then observe in the daily life what differences you are seeing, where you are noticing the changes which starts happening into your life. It does bring a lot of change. And since today we work on the parallel universe and a lot of what we call high technical work, probably you require to listen to it many times because it's not superficial. There are many layers attached to that. So listen to them many, many times. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being the part of our soul family. You all are part of our soul family. See you all tomorrow, 9 a.m. Thank you with lots of gratitude.